Hello everyone, the Klaus here, and today we're gonna review some combiner model from 2003, which is, so excuse me, just have to put this in the right position, which is, or who is, so just let me take the model, Takutanuva, so the fusion of Takutanuva and of course Makuta Pterodax, which can be seen in the first movie at the end, and which will be helpful in fact to open the door which leads to the machinery. So here's the model itself. So of course it can be made with the Makuta and Takutanuva and Usami of course set. And don't want to really see how I'm gonna explain you this set because well, where do I begin? So of course it has the same color scheme. It has Makuta with some white parts here and there. And it still has some big flaws on the articulation section, of course, so this means that it's really hard to pose and to turn in some good way. And you know that I'm not really a fan of the first Makuta, of the Makuta set. So yeah, I really hate that because in fact you're kind of forced to bend him if you want him to stand. You can't really make him look in front of him because it will fall off and stuff like that. So that's really annoying if you ask me, because yes, you're really forced to make him bend and look down, and yes, and the articulation keeps turning, so it's really a problem for me. This combiner doesn't really solve the problem of the normal Makuta set. And in fact, we're gonna see that, for example, in this set, there is tons of sections which are really similar to the Makuta set. So the designer really don't really try to make something totally different because, for example, I'm gonna start the review right now. If you look on the legs, they are exactly the same legs as before. We're just gonna add some pin right here to link it with the hose pipe. Also, if you look on the pelvis section, of this pelvis, of this part which is made to make turn the body part, is in fact quite the same. There are just some parts which are different. For example, this part right here, you can't really see it well, but this part is dark gray, and on Makuta it was black. So yeah, seriously, what's the hell, if I can say so. There is just this part which is different, for example. Also, you can notice that this section is exactly the same one as Makuta. It's the same for the washi back part. Apart this time it's in a silver color. Of course, there is much silver color in this set, which is from the Usami. In fact, the only great different part is the body section. So, well, I'm gonna try to understand how I am supposed to. Oh yes. I can just put this off. So here was the rear part for those who are interested, but in fact it's really close to the original Makuta set with some little difference to make him bulkier and stuff like that. But apart from that and some silver color, it's quite the same. Yeah, so yes, the only different part is the body part, which is made with a torso frame, as you can clearly see, and some other parts, so like this one on the front. Also, you got this part on the rear part. You've got this part right here to block the articulation to make it more hard to turn. And then also you have the shoulder section, which is again kind of exactly the same as the Makuta one. Not really exactly the same because there is some small difference, but if you look closely, you will still find the same banded technique beam right here, the same armor right there, and stuff like that. So I think that there is some gears right here just to make the armor like this, because I'm not really sure that you're supposed to make the armor turn like that. I think you're supposed to just let it like this, but I'm not really that sure. And also the arms are quite different because this time we're gonna use this washi back part and also this part right here. Still the Takutanuva mask are used as hands, which look quite nice, and the spear is different and pretty nice if you ask me. The spear look pretty nice. And that's all. Also, the head is on a ball joint, so it's like the other one. And the head this time, the head used is the Takutanuva head and not the red one. And that's all, guys. Oh, excuse me, that part just falling off. Because in fact, yes, there is. It's quite the same as the other one. So, of course, this part is useful to link with the bottom section. And here we go. So yes, you can also turn this part. I'm not really sure you're supposed to turn it or just let it like that, but if you want, you can do stuff like this, for example. Oh, excuse me. I'm just gonna adjust the webcam so you will see in a better way. So you can just adjust this like that or like this, but I'm not really that sure that you are supposed to move this part seriously. So I'm just gonna let this like that, for example, and talk maybe about the articulation section. Yeah, so seriously, it's got so you can turn these gears, but as I've said earlier, I'm not sure you're supposed to turn this. Maybe it's just on a design part, so you're just supposed to let this part like that. So you've got the arms which got two ball joints, and so it can turn well, of course, because it's just a spear that is all with the two ends. It's kind of hard to move, but I think that without the spears, you can do some nice pose, I think. Not maybe a really interesting one, but different one at least. The head also is in the ball joint, so it can look on the side perfectly and up, but not really down, of course, because it's blocked by this part. And then you have the infamous leg part with just one articulation section right here, which is kind of close. Is the same like the barrage or the etc. Is the same type of part, and it just sucks, as I said earlier, because as you can clearly see, when you want to pose him, there is some weight, so it's really hard to pose him in the better way, because of course you have the same gimmick as Makuta, so you just have to turn these little gears right here to make the body turn. So the gimmick works, but the fact is that when you try to pose him, the gear keeps turning, and it's really, as you look, it's really bad. If I want to just pose my Takutanuva like that, it will falling off. Why it's really great. I seriously hate this stuff. Oh yes, maybe that's a decent pose here. Oh yeah, okay. So I think I will just let the. It looks pretty nice if you look like that. Apart maybe from. No, it's all alright, I think. Yeah, so yeah, it looks pretty nice like that, but seriously, if you want my opinion, I think that this model would have been better as just the normal Makuta. Why? Because this model, in fact, is quite like Makuta, but with some bigger part. So it really look like a Titan, and really, I think really it would have been better if this model have been Makuta, because in fact, it's really more impressive than the normal Makuta, which I found was quite disappointing, even when you compare him to Takutanuva, in fact. So I really think this model would have been great as the Makuta Pterodax, and not really as Takutanuva, kind of hard to pronounce this one. So yeah, but in fact, as a fusion, is pretty nice also in the overall design, because it still try to use the parts of the two characters nicely. So you have some silver parts right here, and also some white parts, which kind of look good in the red and more dark parts. So it's kind of nice as a fusion, but I think it would really have been great if this set was released as Makuta Pterodax, in fact, because it's really more impressive than the normal Makuta, which I quite find disappointing. But still, I got Makuta in 2006, so that's maybe why I find it was disappointing. In fact, I just think that it was also disappointing in 2003 because the articulation section of the legs are really weak, in my opinion. And that's all, I think. So yeah, on the construction section, I say that this set is not really interesting, because in fact it will use tons of parts as Makuta without really trying to change them. So for example, the legs are the same stuff, the shoulder are quite the same parts. It's the same for the rear part of the body, which is quite the same system. So nothing really new, in fact, just maybe the arms and this the upper body part. But apart from that, it's all already some deja vu stuff from Makuta. So the building is not really that interesting, if you ask me, and also the final flaw, of course, is the arms, which prevents you to make some good pose, in fact, because it keeps falling off, or just keeps maybe yes, it keeps bouncing on the side because of the gears, which is really annoying, if you ask me. You have really to be really patient with this model if you want to pose in. And that's all I think, guys. Yeah, I'm totally in despair with this fusion, but still, man, yeah. This combiner model, I think, is quite nice because overall design is looking quite good. I perceive it's got big arms, big legs, stuff like that, nice shoulder parts, and other little stuff like that. So yeah, it's quite nice, but it still got the same drawback as Makuta, and in fact, it got the same exact parts as Makuta. So this means it's not really it's not really that imaginative or really inspired, if you trust me. But still, it's a kind of a good fusion set. It's look good as Takutanuva, excuse me. And well, that's still that, I think. So yeah. Did I recommend you to build this one? Yes. Seriously, yes, because it's an important character of the storyline. It's still okay, but you have to know first that you do not really have to destroy every part of your Makuta, because you're gonna need the same parts to use it. For example, do not try to put apart the piece from the legs, because they are the same, so you will gain some time with that. Also, you have to know that the set itself has some weak points, like the legs, for example, and stuff like that. But apart from that, I can still advise you to build this one, yeah. And also, I still hope you have made your own opinion with this review. Even if I criticize some point, I still want you to make your own opinion with this set, just with what I've shown you. Not, for example, what I've talked about, but what I've shown you. And I really hope you have made your own opinion. So that was my review on Takutanuva. Excuse me, it was kind of bit of chaotic review, but still, I think I've said pretty much I have to say. So a pretty decent combiner model, not maybe one of the best. It would have been look better if it was just Makuta, in my opinion, and still it keeps some drawback for Makuta, which is a bad point. Also some totally entire part for Makuta, which is also a bad point from me. But apart from that, I can still advise you to build this one, to have your own opinion on this one. So I think I've talked too much, so hope you enjoyed this review, guys. If you have any questions, just ask them, and see you later for another Bionicle video review. Bye bye!